Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be doing a roundup of my top 10 spring fragrances. If you want to see what they are, keep watching. Before we get started, if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. And thank you so much for your continued support. If you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and activate that notification bell. Without further ado, let's jump right in. As previously mentioned, these are my top 10 fragrances for spring. They're in no particular order. These are fragrances that I will be wearing a whole lot. The first spring pick I have here is Junoon Noir by Haramain. This one is known to be a dupe of Dama Bianca by Giorgio. Some of the notes are kumquat, lime, there's violet, there's jasmine, lily of the valley. There's also vanilla and musk at the base. I just love the way this smells. It's so fresh. The kumquat and the lime give it a freshness, a zestiness, but it's not too sour. It doesn't make your mouth pucker. This has a beautiful, powdery, ethereal vibe to it. It's fresh, it's uplifting. You get some of those violets and it smells like candied violets, but it's blended in with the other notes so beautifully. It's a fresh white floral. This fragrance really opens up and blooms in warm weather, just like the flowers do. This one really shines in the warm weather. And I'm so addicted to the scent. It smells absolutely divine. It's very feminine and elegant. This is one of those fragrances that will take you from daytime into nighttime, and you can wear this virtually any place, anywhere, to any occasion. A really good one for spring, Junoon Noir by Haramain. The next one in my lineup is Seafiori by Giorgio Armani. The color of this bottle, this pretty pink, really speaks to the juice, and it matches my top, and it's not planned, I promise you. This is a blackcurrant, creamy floral. Some of the notes in here are blackcurrant, neroli, mandarin orange, rose, patchouli, vanilla, and white musk. This is a syrupy, fruity, sweet, creamy fragrance. There's touches of the rose in this, but the rose is not the dominant note. I feel like this one is all about the blackcurrant and the vanilla. The vanilla adds such a beautiful creaminess to this. Oh, this is so delicious. This is a happy, mood-lifting spring type of scent. When I wear this, it makes my whole entire day. This really lifts me up when I'm in a bad mood. It's sweet, it's refreshing, it's feminine, it's delicate. I love the juiciness from that blackcurrant. It gives it the sweetness together with that vanilla. It almost goes gourmand, but not quite. It almost makes me think of a vanilla dessert with this heavenly blackcurrant syrup on top. This one is a daytime fragrance, and you can go ham with overspraying this one because it never gets too much, too heady, too cloying. This doesn't have the best performance, but I do overspray. I love to overspray my fragrances. I could spray this in my hair, on my clothes, on my skin, and I just smell myself for hours and hours. Absolutely recommend this one for spring. Seafiori by Giorgio Armani. This next one is Miss Dior, Absolutely Blooming by Christian Dior. And I feel like this is a quintessential spring fragrance. This screams spring to me. Again, this one also has the note of blackcurrant. You can tell I love blackcurrant in my fragrances. This one has raspberry, blackcurrant, raspberry, two of my favorite berries, pomegranate, pink pepper. And I always love the touch of pink pepper in the fragrance because it gives it this sweet sort of spiciness. It just gives it a little touch of something. I don't detect it particularly in this fragrance, but it adds to the blend and it adds to the composition. This also has May Rose and Peony, and I get the peony more than I do the rose. This is like a true peony scent. It's a fruity floral with some patchouli. It's a bit musky, and that pink pepper keeps it from being too sweet. It smells very feminine, and it's a playful scent. Again, this is not a serious scent. This is something you can wear to the office. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance for springtime. Actually, when I wear this any time of the year, it makes me think of spring. Like I said, this is the quintessential spring scent. You have the fruits and the florals, and it just screams springtime. Ms. Dior Absolutely Blooming by Christian Dior. The next fragrance in my lineup has been making my spring list for a couple of years now, and this is Florabotanica by Balenciaga. This is a very unusual fragrance. Unusual comes to mind when I think about this. It also makes me think of springtime. Some of the notes here are mint, carnation, rose. This has a note of cannabis, vetiver, amber. This is an aromatic green floral. This has those herbal touches from the cannabis. It doesn't smell straight out like weed, but the cannabis note gives it this green herbalness. It's interesting because I can smell the cannabis more out of the cap than I do on my skin. I do not detect it on my skin, but I'm smelling it now. Wow. It's stronger than usual. It does smell a little bit like weed. Ooh. It smells warm, spicy, it's earthy from the vetiver, and it smells like a spring garden after it rained. It has that little bit of earthy soil type of scent to it, but in an uplifting and energizing way. The mint in here definitely gives this fragrance that zing. This is very unique in its composition with the blend of cannabis, the mint. I haven't smelled this in any other fragrance, and I really do enjoy this one. If you're going to the park, if you're doing some outdoor activity, this is one I like to wear when I know I'm going to be outdoors. Florabotanica by Balenciaga. This next fragrance I have here is called L'Extase Caresse de Roses by Ricci. And this is Francis Kurkdjian's creation. And this is said to be a dupe for A La Rose from his house, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. So he tends to create fragrances for other brands which have similar DNA to ones that he creates for his own house. I love this bottle. I love these gold chains. I think it's so unique. This has notes of pear, bergamot. There's two types of roses. You get Turkish rose, Bulgarian rose. There's also peony. There's also raspberry. There's musk, lily of the valley, violet, and patchouli. This fragrance is fresh. It's floral. It's musky. It's very feminine. And it's a very modern interpretation of a rose fragrance. I love the freshness in here, and I love the raspberry note in this, but it never gets too sweet or too heady. This one is so versatile. This could be worn to any occasion, any time of the day. And this could go into late spring, summer. This could be worn in hot weather. If you like your rose and peony fragrances, this is definitely a beautiful interpretation of rose and peony. This is L'Extase Caresse de Roses by Ricci. This next fragrance in my spring lineup is Twilly Duramus from the house of Hermes. This fragrance really screams spring to me. I absolutely adore this. Some of the notes here are ginger, bitter orange, bergamot, there's tuberose, orange blossom, jasmine, sandalwood, and vanilla. This fragrance, you guys, is everything. This is a citrus, woody, balsamic, rose, and white floral fragrance. The opening has that zing to it. Ginger is so uplifting and fresh. I am a sucker for a good ginger note in a fragrance. I always feel like it adds that extra oomph. It gives it that extra something. Together with the bergamot, it smells very refreshing, very uplifting, very energizing. This also smells fruity. I get the pear note in here, and it gives it a little bit of an aquatic feel. It gives it some sweetness. Also, that vanilla in here gives it a sweetness, and it's just a beautiful combination. It creates a very sophisticated, charming, and elegant vibe. I feel like this is potentially a year-round fragrance. I just think of springtime when I smell this because it makes me happy, it's energizing, and it's fresh. This could easily take you from cold weather into warm weather. This is great for any and all occasions, for daytime, for nighttime. Twilly Duramus by Hermes. This next fragrance I have is Tiffany Co Intense. Some of the notes in here are pear, mandarin leaf, there's pink pepper, iris, rose, jasmine. This has musk, cashmere, and vanilla. This also has a note of carrot and amber. That's very interesting because carrot is not a typical note found in fragrances. I know that some have it. There are very few out there. This is not a very juicy pear. It's more of an underripe pear, so it gives it a little bit of a greenness. It's a little bit powdery from the iris. It smells sophisticated, and this is citrusy, it's elegant, it's warm. I feel like this is a perfect signature scent. This could be worn to the office, running errands, wearing a white t-shirt and jeans. This could be worn out to dinner. This could be one's signature scent easily. There's nothing offensive or off-putting about this fragrance. It smells fresh, a bit powdery. It has a sophisticated vibe. For some reason, this makes me think of shopping. I do like to wear this one when I'm going shopping in the springtime. This could be worn to the park, outdoor activities, and so on and so forth. Tiffany Co Intense. So staying with the Tiffany theme, this is Rare Tiffany. This is not from the House of Tiffany. This is actually by Afnan. It has the same color bottled. They smell nothing alike. Different fragrances. This is not a dupe of it, although by looking at it, one might think it's a dupe. And this is an amber floral fragrance with some gourmand touches. This has notes of ylang, jasmine, rose, there's musk, sandalwood, vanilla. This has ginger, caramel, and pink pepper. Again, I love ginger, I love pink pepper, and it has a gourmand note of caramel. So all of that thrown together sounds like a dream. Well, it is. This is so good. It has a touch of sweetness. It doesn't get too sweet from that caramel note. The caramel note in here doesn't go too sweet. I think the ginger and the pink pepper balance all of this out. It's a sweet and fresh fragrance because you might not want a full-on gourmand, like a heavy sweet caramel for spring or warm weather. This smells a bit green. The iris in here makes it a little bit powdery. This is a very modern fragrance. This does not smell outdated. It smells young and modern. It maintains a flirtiness, a playfulness. This really shines in the springtime. You get the tropical florals with the jasmine and the rose, and all of it is wrapped together in caramel, which gives it that touch of sweetness. It's just enough. The pink pepper, the ginger gives it a little bit of a zing. It's such a beautiful composition. I adore this one in springtime. This one makes me think of flowers blooming with a touch of caramel. Again, this is Rare Tiffany by Afnan. This next fragrance I have here is called Meteorites La Parfum from the House of Guerlain. And it's such a pretty and girly pink bottle. Again, we're matching. This one has notes of apple, there's bergamot, there's violet. This has rose, mimosa, white musk, orris. This is essentially a floral fruity with a musky, woody base. It's powdery, it's fruity, it's floral and fresh. The apple and the bergamot give it a nice, uplifting, fresh juiciness at the top. Then it starts to get a little bit sweeter and it starts to smell like violet candy. Those powdered sugar violet candy. It's a bright and happy scent. It's perfect for springtime. This is light and airy. It's non-offensive. This is not a strong, powerful scent. This one you have to reapply and you have to spray generously, meaning overspray. You really have to go in heavy with this one, and the performance is not the best. But when I wear this, I go in heavy with it. Sometimes I throw this in my bag and I reapply throughout the day if I want to keep smelling like this. This scent also makes me think of Easter time, maybe because of the violet candy. I associate it with happiness, new beginnings, spring. This scent is very feminine, it's girly, it's playful, it's not a serious scent. You can wear this to virtually anywhere you go. This is just so beautiful, so fresh, so simple, so pure smelling. A perfect one for spring. Meteorites La Parfum by Guerlain. Last but not the least, I have Idole Intense by Lancome. And this is a flanker of Idole. I absolutely love this one. Look at the huge dent I put into this. I think pretty soon it's going to be time for me to get a new one. This has bitter orange, this has mandarin orange, it has two types of roses. There's jasmine sambac, cashmere wood. This also has patchouli and Madagascar vanilla. This fragrance makes me so happy. There's no pear note listed, but I smell a fresh, fruity pear. I got the notes from Fragrantica. I'm not sure if they're correct because it doesn't list a pear note, but I can distinctly smell the pear note. This definitely shares DNA with the original Idole, that one having that juicy, fresh pear. This definitely has a pear note. And that's what made me fall in love with this fragrance, because I love a good pear fragrance. It's a sweet, citrusy, woody, balsamic rose fragrance. It smells very sophisticated and elegant. It just smells so beautiful. It smells refined. This is a fragrance that leaves an amazing, intoxicating sillage. The scent trail is so unbelievably sexy from this fragrance. I love going back to where I was to smell it. I'm silly like that, but this just smells so intoxicating. I think this one is so good for springtime. Makes me think of flowers blooming, of freshness. This is another one that's versatile, that could be worn to any and all occasions. It's non-offensive, it's a crowd-pleasing fragrance, and I highly recommend this one. This is Idole Intense from the House of Lancome. That concludes my video for today. Please let me know down in the comments below, what are some of your favorite springtime fragrances? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you back here soon. Take care.